What was the robber cave experiment? And what actually can it tell us about society today? Well, the experiment was something called realistic conflict theory, and whilst the ethics of the actual experiment was somewhat questionable by today's standards, the results were rather interesting, specifically because the results of the experiment can illustrate how conflict between groups can arise, and also how these conflicts can be resolved. Now, the Robbers Cave experiment was conducted by psychologist Muzafer Sherif and involved two groups of 12-year-old boys at the Robbers Cave State Park in Oklahoma in 1954. None of the boys knew each other before the experiment started, but all shared similar backgrounds and they were randomly assigned to one of two groups. Now, initially, each group was unaware of each other's existence. The camp covered over 200 acres, and each group went through what they might be called kind of team building exercises of hiking and swimming, etc. Each group decided on a team name, one being the Eagles and the other being the Rattlers, and they then put these names on their shirts and on flags. Now, there were 22 boys in total at the start of the experiment, and each group settled into routines and structures with leaders, etc. This continued for the first week. However, it was then that the two groups became aware of each other and the experiment entered into the competition stage, where each group was placed in competition with the other. And the winner of each competition was decided on the basis of a team score. Competitions were normal activity for children of these age groups at the time, being things like tug of war, baseball, tent pitching, etc. A key part of the competition, however, was that though there was prizes awarded for the winners like medals and pocket knives, etc., there were no similar consolation prizes for the losing group each time. This of course meant that each team tried very hard to beat the other, and friction started to occur between the two groups, involving things like name calling, threats to each other's flag, and both groups then refusing to eat in the mess at the same time as each other group. This then escalated till the Eagles burned the Rattlers' flag and the Rattlers then trashed the Eagles' cabin. The two groups had to be physically restrained by the researchers from actually attacking each other. Now, it has to be remembered these were middle-class, respectable children that had never been in trouble with the law, and yet they were almost out of control in a very short length of time, descending rapidly towards a Lord of the Flies type existence. Then the experiment entered the final phase, what might be called the reconciliation or an integration phase. Children had a new series of tasks to complete. This time, the two groups needed to cooperate together to complete the task or to get the rewards. Various things like restoring the water supply to the camp, to getting a film to watch, and freeing a truck stuck in the mud carrying the food for the whole group. The result of this was that the groups now cooperated together, ate together, even on the shared bus home, the cash reward that the last group of the competition that was used by the Rattlers to pay for malted drinks for the whole group. This does bring up some question of whether larger groups of adults would also operate in this way. Do groups of people that are in competition with each other over scarce resources tend to become hostile towards each other? And if those groups then cooperate with each other towards common goals, do they then forget their differences and become less hostile towards each other? It seems like the Robbers Cave experiment could be fundamental to understanding issues behind conflict and then also conflict resolution. Certainly, the experiment underscores some of the baser motivations of otherwise normal people and how manipulation of those motivations can lead people either into conflict or away from it. But are real-world conflicts between groups that straightforward at their heart, or are there more complex issues motivating people that also need to be resolved as well? That's the Robbers Cave experiment. An interesting aspect of society and worth contemplating its impact on society.